So the idea of today is that folk would share some of their Advent plans, Advent and Christmas plans, and I've invited some people here to come and do that. But others of you will have been thinking about that, so you can do that too. And I've just got a bunch of things ready to show if we need them. So I thought I'd start off with a piece. We did this last year, this event, a couple of times, and I've brought back a couple of things, although I've kind of remixed them a bit because not everyone was here last year anyway. So I thought I'd start with, I've got a couple of bits that are shameless promotion for my worship book. So this is one of the pieces from that I've added with some images. I'll tell you where they come from, and some music, and I'll tell you where that comes from as well. And I should say at the start that I've got a page ready to go on our website of Advent resources. So I'll add stuff from today, and then it'll be live probably tonight.
Loving God, some of us are like Zechariah, not believing that you would choose to bless us. Some of us are like Mary, surprised and humbled by the gift of new life. Some of us are like Joseph, needing reassurance and faith for the way ahead. Some of us are like Elizabeth, supporting others as they begin the journey. Some are like the shepherds, unsure whether your presence is real or a dream. Some are like the angels, eager to tell others your good news. Some are like the innkeeper, not yet realising how special you are. Some are like the Magi, kneeling in wonder and worship. Wherever we are in our journey of faith, remind us that your plans lie before us. Help us to grow tall in love and light, so that we may stand strong and gentle for you in our world. Amen.
Those images are by a guy called Cy Smith. They're from an English website called Proust, and the link will be there. And he's got a pack of stuff which includes an Advent calendar. So as well as those images that I showed you are part of a comic book. And he's also got an Advent calendar of these images, which I think are just fabulous. And there's a text to go with them, but I just love the simplicity, and I don't know, they evoke something. So the third thing in the pack is he's got, it's called a flat pack. It's basically A4 sheets that have got cut out 3D nativity people that you make, characters that are the same kind of artwork. And it's a really simple thing. And like the whole thing's £10 or something. It's and the music, so there's a guy called Scott Buckley, who's an Australian who's just moved to Sweden, who basically makes Creative Commons, orchestral synthesizer, all kinds of music. instrumental music, and you can go to his website and find what you want, put in keywords, and use it. And I like that. So this is, you'll see frankincense and myrrh and Herod, and we're just about at the end of it.
I've used these images twice, about a decade apart, and one time, because they all have like little questions attached to them as well when you buy them from Proof. And so we created a labyrinth in the hall that we just got little stones. So we gathered little stones to create the labyrinth, and then we put the images within the labyrinth. And because it's 25 days of images, and each one posing the question of the journey of Advent. And so you got all the way around and inside, and then you came out again, walking and pondering the whole Advent story. This was the labyrinth. So that was the contemplative space. I'm really bad at photos. So this got taken after we'd had the event and everything. So there's chairs and stuff weren't actually there. But it was a really easy way to do a labyrinth with just little stones instead of like masking tape it down or anything. And then we just swept it all up. And the other time we put them, I don't know what size, but architectural drawings, so really big, and we mounted them all outside the church building so that the community could do the same thing outside and wander around.
In July this year, across the school holidays, we put together a DIY scavenger hunt, which was far more elaborate than I actually thought it would be, and ended up being a lot of effort, but I think was worth it. It was really well received. We had different people from the community join in, and it all culminated after about, 10 rhyming clues that took them on a loop of Murrumbina, back at the church to find inside a waterproof sack a locked box that they had to locate the key for, unlock, and take out some treasure. And I'm trying to find some photos for that. And that was great. That was received really well. It got promoted across the community. We had non-church people come and participate, and it was really good.
And what I liked, why it was cool, was it was actually set up for 3-4 weeks, and so it was unmanned or unhumaned for 3-4 weeks, and it was, so Zach went and organized all the clues and did the whole the third pillar from the right of the tree kind of clues. And it was just left up, and so we put a form up. It's like community scavenger hunt. If there's something, if you're bored, and you want something to do with the kids, just join in. And so then they could then just sign up on a Google Doc form, and then because it was automated, then Zach set it up. So then they just got the clues sent to them, and so the form sent, and then from there, same thing, Craig. Zach set it up. So one of the clues, they had to scan in a QR code that Zach stuck behind a rock, which sent them an image, which then linked them on. Zach did a really good job. And
so this is the whole sort of loop that they walked. And we tried to keep it I didn't mean to stop, sorry. We tried to just keep it local and accessible. And then this was the locked box that they had to find the key for, and the key was next to the water tank, and there were different challenges. They had to count the number of cockatoos on the box here, count the number of wooden pillars, and then there were photo challenges as well. So there was a mix of easy and hard clues, because we had to try and connect with a broad range of ages. So, and this one was my favorite. They had to find the mailbox with Snoopy on top of. And so there's Snoopy having a nap, and I got to chat with the owner, and the kids loved finding Snoopy and taking their photo there. So that was good.
And I suppose it would be if it was to do something like this in your local area, it would be making it a Christmas-esque theme, finding those things. And it would be great because everyone's got Christmas decorations up. So you can kind of incorporate that kind of stuff in.
In one sense, there's no strings attached, you go and have fun doing it. Who, you're told who's put it out there. You're not saying, come back to the church and barbecue afterwards and we'll
exactly
give you something, or you could, but and the other thing I like about it is any age group could set this up. You could say to people in your church, find a clue in your street, and we'll add that, a good clue, and we'll add that into our thing.
100%.
And then we've just got to set up the and then you can just advertise it with however you like.
And that was the thing that Zach was also trying to do. Sorry, I feel like I'm like, oh, Zach, you know, but like Zach was trying to make sure as well, like noting that there will be little kids coming along with their like older siblings, but then also their parents. And so it was just like, so Zach told me a clue. I'm like, Zach, that's so darn hard. I can't even get that. And Zach's like, no, but like, you know, the 15-year-old, you want to make them think a bit. Like you don't want everything to be a bit easy. You want it to be a bit of a challenge. And so good mix between the two.
Julie, go for it.
Kelly or Zach, how did you advertise this?
I have vast social media connections.
Yes. And that's the secret, isn't it?
Yeah, especially for community events. I'm going to say every, but it's more or less true. Every community, like suburb, has a Facebook group. And they all do their own things in there. So in Murrumbeena, we have one called Make Murrumbeena Mine. And it's just a whole bunch of community locals who are passionate about their suburb. And when I say passionate, like these are the people who are like at every Darn community working bee, at every local sporting event. Like these guys are like the ones who love their community. And so Zach connected it with all like the connections inside the church and then all the friends with those in the ministry area. And then the one thing I did was we literally just got that thing and I went on Facebook and I went, here's a link, you should come along. And everyone was like, wow, like this is something fun we can all do. I was like, and then they all shared it. We like did very minimal if that, because they all were passionate. And it's exactly what you said, Craig. Like it's not about us saying, come and look at us, come and look at us. It's actually about us as the church saying, we actually want to be a part of you as the community. Like, let us be. And so it's us just giving it.
So I've joined the Facebook group here in Frankston, but I also joined the one in Cheltenham because I was working with Cheltenham and Mentone. And I said, get on there and see what people are talking about and then, you know, post something. And as long as it's not too weirdly religious, you know, community scavenger hunt, Christmas scavenger hunt, people will be fine. And if the admins aren't fine, I guess you got to talk to them about that. But
100%. And I even try and change the language a little bit. And I know it sounds very silly to do. I change the language just a bit when I post on the community page. And I always say hosted up at Murrumbeena Uniting Church rather than hosted by Murrumbeena Uniting Church. Because I don't want that to be a barrier for someone who might have had a traumatic experience by a church community or who might not feel like they're invited because they're not Christian or they're from another faith community. And I was like, this isn't a religious gathering. This is a community event. And so I don't want that to be a barrier. So just those slight language changes makes it more inviting.
The other thing for me is to participate as a person, not an institution. Like I posted something on the Frankston thing to say there's a new Asian supermarket next to the post office on Heather Hill Road, and all this stuff that I used to have to go to Dandenong to buy, I can buy it there. And it's fantastic. Go and help out this new little, you know, this family-run shop. 800 people commented. Like, I'm not getting anything out of that. Participate as a person. Don't lurk, you know, but actually participate as a person in the community. And then you become part of that network and people see, they don't go, oh, Kelly's the weird person who always posts church stuff. Kelly tells us where to buy good things or, you know,
I'm known as the
great
artist.
cafes or, that's right.
I'm known as the artist. And then they go, oh, and she's the pastor up at the church. And I'm like, I'm happy with that. That's cool. We'll go with that. So this year at Murrumbeena, we've had a giant program, like a kids program. It's quite common across church communities to do a kids program around Christmas. And so our program around Christmas is Countdown to Christmas. And with COVID, it always makes it difficult. And so we're doing it festival style this year. So we're trying to think outside the box, how to make it more COVID friendly. Earlier this year, but Zach actually organized getting like big games and stuff, and the community loved it. Like they were talking about it for weeks, and I could not believe it. I was like, they were all COVID safe, like sanitizer available and stuff. And so we're going to put some of those out. We're going to have some kids crafts available. We've just put a thing out saying, you know, creatives come and put a market stall up kind of thing. No food available. So it's just like, if you arty and you want to put a stall up, put it up. Expression of interest. So if that's something you want to do in your area, let me know. I've made forms. I cleared it with Synod, so I can help with that, that kind of stuff. And yeah, it's going to be super low key, but going to be super effective, like low maintenance, high impact. That's my favorite stuff. And yeah, so that's what we're doing this year. And I know that Zach and I are excited to see where that goes.
And at the end of the festival, we're having our traditional carols and lessons in the evening with the band. And we're having 2 other local uniting churches in our cluster to come and join us and bring their musicians and their people along. So we'll have that in the car park.
Totally.
That I think that's, great to have them involved, and we're looking forward to that.
100%. And then what we did was we then told our Sunday morning service, we're not gathering. What? So I know, like, I'm so excited. I don't know how we managed to do. Anyway, so they're all having to come at 2 p.m. on a Sunday afternoon. What? Anyway, so it's going to be good. We're a bit excited, but look, COVID does fun stuff. Let's try it out. But yeah, cool.
You guys are rocking it, just by the way. So how long have you guys been planning this for? Because I'm kind of just starting to get into gear with my stuff, and so therefore haven't got very far because it's now, the 10th of November. So how long have you guys been kind of planning this?
September?
Yep, September we've been planning, but in all honesty, how long it's been out to the public in terms of getting market stalls and stuff available, it went public yesterday. So in terms of how long it's gone everywhere, yesterday. And like for me, like I'm an artist, so that's fantastic. I'm going to put a market stall in. My mum does beeswax wraps, so I'm going to make her put a market stall in. And then we've had 2 others since yesterday put market stalls. And because that's not going to be our primary thing, we're just trying to get community there. I'm like, if 4 market stalls, like they're just going to be trestle tables, if that's all we get, I'm like, we're booming already. We're going to have that, get the community garden. They want to put some pot plants out for people to give away, have the games available for the kids to come and play with and stuff, craft, all that kind of stuff. Just get the community buzzing in a COVID-friendly outdoor way. So by all means.
And then our real estate boards go up this week as well.
Exactly. So by all means, it's not too late. Like if it's something that you go this week, like, oh my gosh, if there was nothing else you had on this week and you can pump it out, still perfect timing, like 100%.
So real estate boards, are they the big ones that you put up on fences and stuff? Did you have to get council permission, and did they cost?
Do you mean church council or local government council?
Oh, both. Local government probably for putting up boards.
No and no, because it's on our property. And no, there's no cost because they get to put their brand on. It's free promotion on Murrabina Road. So you send them your proofs. They send it to their board designers. They send it back to you for confirmation with their logo on. They install them, and then they take them away on the 27th of December.
I really like the outdoor community vibe too. That it's a community event, not a church event solely. Yeah, it's great.
In regards to the craft stalls, are you, I've just got kind of Christmas market in mind, and so are you open to any kind of craft stall, or does it have to be Christmas related, or are you talking gift giving kind of options?
I did an expression of interest form, and again, 100%, if people want that, I'm more than happy to send what I've ruled up. For those who don't know, in other Kelly life, I am an artist, so I did artist hat on, and I wrote it up so it's legally all good. And I just said that this is the kind of vibe that we're trying to bring out, doing a community event. Put in your expression of interest. We will let you know by the 25th of November if you have been successful. Because I made it very clear that we're going to say yes or no. Because if someone comes in, they're like, we sell adult toys. I'll be like, no, thank you. Please find another market, But if someone's put in for they sell lipstick, and I was like, 100% you can have a store, and that's totally fine. And so I'm not too phased if it's just Christmas based, if it's gift giving, either or. But I do want to have that ability to like vet, if that makes sense. And I have encouraged people to send in photos of their products and stalls so that we can actually see what it looks like, just because, you know, and people who create their stuff have that. So that's good. But yeah, and so that's just one component. Like Zach was saying, like, this is just the one space just to encourage people to come along. Like, we have other areas, and like, it's going to be really cool. I think we're really excited about it. So
I showed one of these videos last time. I'm a big fan of, so Spark House is an American Christian education resource mob. I think that they've got a Lutheran base. They're based in Minnesota, and they do really good video stuff. So there's a series called Holy Moly, which some of you will have seen. And I want to show one of their videos briefly. I like these because they work from kind of children to adults. They don't speak English. They make noises. So they're kind of meant to be multilingual, which I really like too. And they've got heaps of them, and they've made some stuff available digitally. And I found out this week that if you sign up to their new digital store, you get 7 free downloads. So I'm going to show you one of the movie clips, and I'm going to show you how to get at least 4 of them for nothing. I really like it. And one of the things about the videos is that when, like, they're mainly in kind of black and white, but when someone is, you know, touched by God or doing something for God or changed by God, they get coloured in.
I love that.
And that often happens at the end of the story. But obviously here it was with the, you know, the angels who were, you know, doing God's stuff. So the main website is wearesparkhouse.org. Again, I'll put this stuff on the webpage. The digital site, which I'll show you, is called sparkhousedigital.org. So if you go to sparkhousedigital.org, you can register for free. You don't have to put any credit card details in. And I selected children as my interest. You can select whatever. But when you get here, I'll just go over to the webpage. So once you've registered, you'll end up here. You go down to Holy Moly. There it is. Click Explore. So you get into Holy Moly, you get all this stuff. A bunch of these have videos, some of them don't. But if we go to Advent and Christmas, I'm showing you this because take you forever to find it. You'll see they've got 4 lessons. If I click on lesson 1, and then I click on grades 3 to 4, I'll see there's colouring page, family page, leaders guide, leaders, and there's video. So if it won't let me do it because I've got my 7, but if I click on that, I can download that video. Okay. And if I go back, then I can go back and go, okay, let's go back to lesson 2. Click on it, grades 3 to 4. If you click on the earlier grade, the younger grade, they've got a different video series. I think these work much better for a broad age range. Mary and Elizabeth, download it. So I think you're getting, they've got 8 videos, and I think this gets you 4 of them because it's like a freebie. So, and the other alternative is to buy the DVDs from the US through their normal store. So that's how you get those. Jesus is born, there's a video there too. And the Magi. Okay, Tracy, tell us what you've done and what you're planning.
So let me start with context first. Our community, before COVID, it's like during Christmas is always the smallest because they go home to Indo. So yeah. So that's why we don't usually have a community event. We only have a small scale church event because it's got to be run by whoever's left. So and this year, the leaders has asked the young adults and the teens to take charge because we just got out of COVID and everything. So we're going to do it gently. So it's going to be a church event, and the young adults and teens have never done this before, leading something church. So we are training them to learn to collaborate and to create stories, and so that's the story of hope, from hopelessness to hope in Christ alone. So that is the journey that they are creating through Minecraft, because it's going to be a Gen Z kind of flavor, right? We have created also a survey, church-wide survey, to asking them how they are going through the 2 years of COVID. So I can show you some things what we have started doing, like we have done a iMovie trailer, because they give what do you call it, good templates, trailer templates. So this is what the flavor is going to be. Since the Minecraft is not done yet, that's why we can't show anything Minecrafty. Yam is young adults. So yeah, something like that. So it's got to be a bit more edgy and I'm
in. I want to see that movie.
Yeah, but yep. Good. So this is how we trying to do the journey bit. I'll show another screen. So we're starting to ask questions about hope. This is our mapping our current realities, right? So this is what current reality is. And then everyone is impacted, asking those kind of questions. And then our church, which is, like we're from Indonesia, motherland, and this is a promised land. So what is a migrant's hope, basically, in this? And then we are asking, what is St. Andrews's hope? That's how we built the theme, make it into a question. Each week, it's still based on the weekly hope piece, but we bring up the hope and we center it in Christ. So we did a survey, and it's going to be a collaboration. The youth and the teens got to collaborate and create these weekly video journeys, and that's our, but it's based on a survey as well. So to make sure that, like, how is the whole church going? Only 44 people responded, but hey, that's good enough for us. That's our, hang on, that's not. So that's week 1. The Minecraft is after the earthquake. The church is like all blotchy because of, it's not going to be a 6-point earthquake, right? But this is more to show that this is how we have been, our faith has been bruised and battered through COVID and through the earthquake. They're going to show that, the youth and the teens, and showing that is the current, how we feel as a church. And then the week 2, it's that, they discovered cross on the floor in the rubble. So that's a discovery, starting to see hope. And then the 3rd week, because it's love, and it's going to be, there's going to be a confirmation service as well. So from the cross that is on the floor, it's going to be placed back on the wall. So that is hope in Christ alone. That is the key, right? And then week 4, which is joy, they have all the churches scaffolded, rebuilding, blah, 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 blah. And then when it's on Christmas, everything's done, all decorated. So that's how we showing the journey, young adults and teens through Minecraft, and also collaborating. And we're going to show some videos, them collaborating.
So you're going to have certain times when you say, come to Minecraft and help with this thing, or is it going to be more basic? So how's the Minecraft thing work? We're going to show videos before sermon and after sermon, right? Because we don't know whether the church was going to be open. So we decided not, since they're only starting to be involved in the bigger church thing. Okay, let's just think about a hybrid thing, on-site, off-site. So everything's going to be on video. Just like how we showed that trailer. The video is done. So I'm doing it at the moment, and it's going to be shown after the sermon. So great. Okay. Yep. Thanks. So that was, can I just ask, so that was proof of concept. That was what, 70 plus slides of planning? The visuals me and sensory me cannot just have 7.
Yeah.
The power. Yeah.
The Minecraft world, did you build it yourself and then have it so that they can then journey through it? Or was it a community project that everyone's built together previously? I've got no idea about Minecraft. So somebody who knows about Minecraft, they're going to do the thing. So I'm just telling them, what about this, guys? Empowerment, all for it. Oh, yeah. That's it. You know, like one guy did all of this, the church building things already, because he doesn't know how to collaborate yet. I don't know Minecraft at all. So it's them. And then another guy is composing the music for it. So it's music, narration, and then visual. Yeah, but I love this because it's such a good example of listening to what the congregation can do and listening to their gifts and skills, and then getting it and then composing all the little pieces of their gifts and skills and actually curating. And that composer, he's in year 7. Yeah. Yes. So
kids are awesome.
That's amazing. That's the thing. Like, and I'm telling them, okay, we might fail. It's all right. If I'm in charge, we can fail. It's all right. I've got second, third plans in there. So that's the idea, collaboration, because they need to be able to connect
And also Gen X, Gen Y, and Gen Z are leading, like we're doing this together. And we're just helping them to learn what church leadership is like, and collaborative effort in sound, music, and whatever, creative.
It's very different in a congregation where everybody is of an older generation. So to drum up enthusiasm and options for a different congregation, I think it would be really amazing to sit down and watch or see or witness some of the stuff that's going on in the younger congregations. So are there ways that I could just link to some stuff that's going on just to see what young people are doing and striving for leadership? It might give them a bit of hope. Anyone?
I think, Sam, that's a really good point that you've made, and I think if anything's come out of COVID, it's collaboration and online, like offering different things that different people are able to do. If you can't actually do some of this stuff within your own context, I think offering, different things. I think we've learned a lot from COVID in that regard, that we can, regionally we can do things together, and there's no need to reinvent the wheel from, doing something that someone else, just because someone else is doing it. And I think that's something that's really quite important too. And I 100% agree with you.
Sam?
Yes, Tracy?
I told the teens 6 years ago that they can, you are the creative force. That was 6 years ago. That cultivating took a while. As you know, our church has 2 languages, and first and second generations, and these are all of the things that for me is like it was, like behind the scenes stuff, talking to the parents, talking the whole not congregation, but people who are interested in empowering the next generation, and so that they can collaborate with the previous generations that come from Indo. You know what I mean? So it's different cultures, different thinking styles, whatever. So it took like six years.
In the 4 Sundays of Advent, you could actually invite 4 different churches to send some people to be part of your worship. We're doing this thing to help revitalise our worship, and we'd love it if you had half a dozen folks, I don't care what age they are, to come and share a story, share a song, act out a Bible reading, do something in our worship, and help give us a sense of being connected with the rest of the church, because we're just trying to come out of this thing and everyone's a bit fragile. I reckon you could do something like that.
It's a really good thought, Craig, and I appreciate the idea, and I think it could work really, really well. But even something as simple as that gorgeous animation that you showed, Craig, animation today is so simple. I can animate. It's so simple to do on an iPad, and for kids, but even for our elders in our communities who have just recently learnt to use an iPad to communicate with each other, they could do a single drawing with a black pen and move an arm and a leg up and down and display that as a hope thing. There's some awesome ideas.
That's a great intro. So on the weekend, we ran a songwriters event online, and we had a particular Bible reading, and we hadn't planned a closing worship. So I said to Duncan, would you play the piano? And Kelly, would you draw on your iPad on screen while Duncan's playing the piano? And it was fantastic. And so I messaged Kelly yesterday to say, look, could we do something with the Annunciation, the angel coming to Mary, and you drawing it, and with some music? So I sent her some music last night, and
One of the things I've been thinking about whether I can do at my church, which is in Hampton Park, and I thought others may have done it already, so I just thought maybe I could get some ideas if anyone has, and that's just having like a display outside that people can come and do a selfie in front of, just like a display at the front. There's kind of a veranda at the front of the church with like a Christmassy message on it. Is that anything people here have done?
I've seen a thing with it, like a nativity, where people could come and get their picture taken.
Yeah, COVID-wise, I don't think we'll be able to do like costumey stuff this year, but even just having a backdrop that people can do like a kind of Christmassy card kind of picture in front of.
That could be cute. Yeah, that's a cute idea. Because I was going to say, like, sometimes it's fun, like to do a nativity scene, but leave like one character missing. And maybe it might be a bit sacrilegious to leave Jesus missing. Don't do that one. Like, leave a shepherd missing, and then they can become a shepherd, like, and they all of a sudden become a part of the nativity.
The animals, you can put your head through the hole in the head, though. You know,
Yeah, I don't think we've got the woodworking skill set for this year, but
we got photos of our kids. We were driving through some country town, and there was a scene like that, and we've got photos of our kids in the manger, you know, playing the parts. And I don't even know, I'm trying to think it was outside a church or just in the local park or something. You know, there was straw and all that gear. Yeah. And
we've actually done it too, where we've got like, so we have what we call the Angel Project, and it's been many years in the making, Tracy, as you've kind of suggested with yours. You know, we use different gifts and graces from the congregation. It's taken a long time. So it's been going for a long time. We have different themes each year, but each year it's called the Angel Project with a different theme. And so we've had angel wings on the doors where people have come and taken the photo. We've had stars and so all different types of things. And people have come and taken photos, and it's become a real buzz within our community of, you know, come to the windows and take your photo type of thing. So yeah, it's definitely something, and kids love taking the selfie, you know, the selfies with.
The Wayside Chapel in Sydney has these amazing big colourful angel wings on a wall, and I don't know how many dozens and dozens of photos I've seen of people with getting their photo taken in front of these amazing big colourful angel wings.
At St. Leonard's Uniting, like a decade ago, so before I started working at Murrumbina, I helped them. They had a vision. So Kaylee, a few of you might know Kaylee Fern, had a vision about cutting out the nativity scene out of black vinyl. So it was just shadows. And the cool thing is the black vinyl sticker, like you can just get rolls of it, like reams on eBay kind of thing. And we just traced it out on the back with grey lead and then cut out silhouettes of like the nativity scene. And then you can just stick it up on the brickwork of the church and then it just peels off. Like it doesn't leave residue or anything. And it was like super effective and it just stayed out there for like the whole of Christmas. And like when it was really rainy, like it would peel off a bit. And so we just would put a bit of blue tack and stick it back up. But that was like a decade ago and it was super beautiful, like really nice. So
the school I taught at a few years ago did the wings process and used their, in our case, their students, but you could use if you've got some young people, to all contribute to the decoration of these wings too, which was a nice enduring thing that they retained.
I've done some colouring in sheets just because they're always good to have a stack. I use the same silhouette, the same shapes so when Zach was talking about how I drew up a thing, so I've used the same people because I've already drawn them once, but I've done a whole bunch. So there's 5 different ones. So I'm always up for not tacky looking colouring in sheets. So I've done 2 different nativity scenes and one with Mary, Joseph and a donkey, and then one of a Christmas wreath, and then that says Merry Christmas, and then another Christmas wreath with the Advent candles. So
Growing Faith Down Under is a website run by Amanda Nicholas from Geelong. She was our guest 2 weeks ago. We did a thing on digital tools, and there's a video of that which is linked on the website, and she talks about setting up some online learning stuff for Advent Christmas. So if you're interested in that, you could go and watch some of that video. Can I finish with a song? Shameless promotion number 2 for my worship book, which is called, it's called Deeper Water. Look, there's a copy right there. Available from MediaCom, and it's got one Christmas song, which is called Sing of a Promise, that I co-wrote with Alan Hoare, who's from Southport Parks. You don't have to buy the book, although you could.
You should.
Every one you buy gets me $4 towards a new banjo. But the point is you can just show the video, you know.
Sing of a starlight glimpsed in the heavens. Sing of a beacon guides from afar. Sing of a promise shines like tomorrow, bringing a child who carry us far. Sing of a town where travelers are passing. Sing of a place where families come home. Sing of a host who welcomes a stranger, making a bed where love might be born. Emmanuel, God is here. Emmanuel, sing of a silence harboring twilight. Sing of the herders watching the night. Sing of the choir whose song opens heaven, gifting us peace to make the world right. Sing of 3 gifts of balm, gold and incense. Sing of the treasures wise people bring. Sing from our hearts, our humble self-giving, offering the child whose praises we ring. Emmanuel, God is here. Emmanuel, sing of the child who rocks on the waters. Sing of the landless seeking the shore. Sing of the lives still broken by sorrow. Open our hearts and make them a home. Emmanuel, God is here. Emmanuel, sing of the morn when justice is coming. Sing of the day when love comes to town. Sing of the time when peace is our pathway. Glory to Christ who makes all his own.
Thanks for being here. Thanks for contributing. Can we thank each other for that? Really appreciate it. And we'll see some of you tomorrow night. And so Eleni, the first thing I want to ask you is we're talking a bit about COVID and people coming and doing things at different times. Do you want to say a little bit about last year and then maybe about what you think about this year? About the stations thing?
So last year opening up again, we got a little bit excited that our normally very, very booked out building was actually free. So we thought one of the things that we could do, and because of our location as well, we're at the end of 48 restaurants, a major shopping centre, all those sorts of things, and a train line. So sometimes we don't have to promote things too widely. We just have to open the door, which I know is really unfair. I'm sorry. But what we decided we would do is we would convert the entire building into different, basically, I guess, stations, but not really, just like juxtapositions of the Christmas story to sort of today's society. So we did a really elaborate, fancy, looking really lush and comfortable bed, and then had that next to it was just a simple manger. So that was one of the things. And then just little probing questions were around. And there was also, like, you could do a video, not a video thing, a sound thing as well. We had a little recording thing. And we also had, I don't know if you can see at the bottom of the manger, these little characters, sort of cartoon type little, that's a little shepherd in there. And so that was a way of trying to engage like children as well, knowing that it was such a tactile thing, because I'm really tactile. So one of the things I struggled with last year when we reopened it, you couldn't touch anything. You couldn't like let children touch and play and fiddle. So we made a little scavenger hunt inside the bigger display as well. This was a room set up like a big family room, and it had like a ridiculous amount of presents. It was totally OTT. So way too many presents and things, and a massive tree and all that kind of things. And then there was a tiny little table with just 3 really interpreted gifts of what perhaps the wise or the magi gave. And again, all the questions, but we had fun in this room doing a lot of the statistics, the consumeristic kind of statistics, and how much people get into debt over Christmas and all those sorts of things. We had a donkey, sort of. We didn't have the budget for a live animal either. A donkey and a carriage, and then talked about how long it would have actually taken and those sorts of things. So we had the donkey and talked about the journey, and next to the donkey was a car, because you should always drive a car into your church if you get an opportunity. Really visuals, image to kind of put the 2 stories, contemporary and older. And a lavish Christmas dinner, again, really over the top, talking about what do you eat, what do you like to consume, what are your family traditions around the table, and then imagining the first Christmas and what perhaps people would have eaten, or the first family. One of the things that last year was big in our community, I'm sure it was across Australia, was Spoonbill, where people were decorating little spoons and putting them in parks and putting them in primary schools. Well, we had an active one out the front of our church, again, location, that the community, and it was part of the Spoonbill community. So we took the opportunity to do a kind of life-size spoonbill nativity that year. People would have their pictures. We did have a selfie spoon, so it was like a spoon dressed up with its head out so you could pop your head through, but somebody stole it. And baby Jesus went missing as well once. And we had to make a new baby Jesus. So that was a really fun way for the community to engage and just to acknowledge the different kind of COVID responses we'd had together as a community. We actually did a lot of things on the lawn and outside to send messages to the community.
That's stunning. I wanted to stop with what you said on the table, because it wasn't like you were making fun of Christmas in a sense. You were asking, what's this really about? You know, what are our celebrations? What meals matter? Who comes? So it's not just like, oh, Jesus had it really simple and we're really rich. It was actually more to it than that.
Again, because of the location, we had a lot of people walking from the street, and then a lot of people brought families. So you would have little people and medium people, and they would kind of go through all the rooms doing the questions, and because there was more than that, but that was just a snapshot of the different experience.
How long was it open?
It was 2 weeks. We opened right when life opened again too. So it was slow to start, but by the end, and then people also got really confident because they realized that you could walk in off the street and you weren't going to be in a room with 5 other people, or you weren't going to be looking at it all in one space. You were actually moving physically to an entire room. And so I think once that got out, that it was very COVID safe as well. We had a lot of people go through, and we would have a host. We tended to have a host just to say hello and give them a little notebook, see if they needed the hearing loop. And it started really meditatively too, like you could light a candle, you could watch a video to center and stuff like that.
To what extent did those questionings with the table setting accommodate the diversity of custom?
Because we've been doing, I guess, a little bit more work trying to work out how we do communicate better with our community. We mentioned things like different traditions like Moon Festival, which is getting around and doing family stuff together. So we tried to have like a cross section of little entry points.
I did a thing at our interactive Christmas once where I got a world map printed up at a I don't know, architect's place. Like, it was massive. And we had it on a big table in the church foyer, and people could make a little green Christmas tree and put it on a country that they'd come from and write a Post-it note about something, that one tradition that mattered for them. And the whole thing got just filled up with all these Christmas trees from around the world with little stories. It was really nice. Chris sends out stuff all the time. He's a fantastic resource for people. And if you're not on his email list, you ought to be. So a friend in Auckland, who's a Presbyterian minister, did lots of stuff last year with take-home bags, and they were doing it every week for ages. And one of the things that Chris put on in his mailing list,
Bill Faith is Virginia Seminary in the US, so they have got a great archive collection of stuff, do a whole range of different things.
The point was take-home kits, and they've got lots of ideas for stuff that you can bag up and let households take home. So they've got a lot of ideas. There's some great stuff there. Frankly, you can do it all age, but I think it's an excellent idea to make up some bags of stuff that people can do over 4 weeks. You can have adult devotional stuff. You can have stuff to put on the table. You can have storytelling. You can have craft things. And basically, you can put as much or as little in it as you like. And as Chris is saying, there are other great ideas on Build Faith too, Chris.
There's 2 resources I'm pushing reasonably hard. One is the Family Faith Trail, and the other one is Advent Something is Coming. Ideas for 4 weeks of Advent with a slightly different twist. Gives you the readings, gives you stuff to think about, gives you a few words to say, but also the main hook is a printable Advent characters that you can print out and engage in and build your own nativity set as you move through Advent. The other unique feature of it, it's got 3 good questions within it to consider every time you handle a resource. But one is about making sure you maintain the theological integrity of what you're doing, particularly once you start to adapt and contextualize, to make sure you don't actually lose that essence and get carried away with your creativity. The first point, in fact, was around never thinking that anything you can take off the shelf is going to work perfectly for you. Your people are unique. Your space has its idiosyncrasies. So what are the little tweaks you need to make? And the second question is around how do you actually make it a safe, brave, accessible space with whatever you're doing. So it's about the environment you set the context in.
Let me pop up the Christmas Family Faith Trail. And I come out of South Australia. and it's basically stations that can be done over each week leading up to Christmas.
Specifically, they can do it in the home. So the idea is
it's
normal
home-based.
places around the house where you can set up these different stations with a bit of a prayer idea, reflection, etc.
So like the bags is something you can take home. You'll see there's some colouring stuff there, there's some craft stuff there, the prayer stuff each time. So I'd really encourage people to think about what folk can take home.
And I'd probably encourage people too to actually, if you want to launch that in your church, how would you adapt that to your actual church space? So you can kind of, we do it in church one Sunday, and here's the resource to take home. You can do it there.
So we've just done a songwriting weekend with the amazing Malcolm Gordon. No, that's the wrong page. That's I see what I didn't do. The amazing Malcolm Gordon from New Zealand. He's a New Zealand Presbyterian, fantastic songwriter, humble guy, very wise. Kelly will agree with everything I've said.
Amen.
Great collaborator. This is his, so onevoice.org.nz is his kind of music and collaboration website. And they had a thing called the Illustrated Gospel Project. Did Luke, and now they're doing Mark. And if you go to the Gospel of Luke, there are a bunch of readings on Luke. And the first couple are related to, Advent, Christmas, of course. You get a couple of narratives. So you see there are two narrative paraphrases on the left. You get some pieces of art that you can look at bigger, and you can download and use these poems and songs. And so there's a couple of songs. There's 3 songs there. So I'm going to quickly show the bananas. What's a makey makey? So this is a picture from Interactive Christmas in Rosefield, which we ran for 5 years, where we basically had storytelling, drama, music, and a whole bunch of stations. And there's a little thing called a makey makey, which I'll show you next door, which is a little circuit board that plugs into your computer, and then it's got a whole bunch of wires that come out of it. And basically schools use it to teach kids how to program and stuff. And you can do everything from making a keyboard that you can jump on, and play with your feet, to making a, little game controllers. So I made a fruit orchestra, and you'll see the fruit on the table. And what I had on the wall was Silent Night, various fruits numbered 1 to 8. And I had the numbers under the words of the tune, so that people could play Silent Night on the fruit orchestra, right? And I had it set up so that I could make that thing sound like anything, like a church organ, like anything you wanted. The whole point was it was tactile, but number 2 was there are people there who would never have seen the carol Silent Night. People from outside the church for whom all they knew was Jingle Bells and something else. So they got to play a song, and they got this extremely well-known lyric about the birth of Jesus. You can remap them so you get the whole scale. You can have like 2 octaves. This is the laptop next door set up with the bananas. And I've also brought in a blood orange, a pear, and a jalapeno just for fun. This banana is live. There's always a recalcitrant banana. I just want to say it worked better when I did it at church. That's the little drummer boy, but it's not working properly. When I've used that, it's worked well and it's been epic, but it takes a bit more work to get your fruit working properly. When I get my new makey board, I'm going to play the cathedral organ for you, and we'll actually I'll map it for all the extra keys. I'll set it up properly, and I'll play a proper Christmas carol. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Chris, for joining us.
Thank you.
See you later, okay?